जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
जय।
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna, भैया हरे कृष्णा
हरे
everyone.
कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा निशा
हरे
कृष्णा जय। लोग प्रेम से हरे कृष्णा। कृष्णा रीना जी।
हरे कृष्णा.
Right. Hopefully everyone had a nice weekend. लास्ट हम लोगों ने शुरू किया, we started reading अध्याय 3. सो थर्ड अध्याय में हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं कैसे कृष्ण भगवान का अवतार होता है और उसमें वासुदेव महाराज कृष्ण भगवान की स्तुति करते हैं क्योंकि कृष्ण भगवान का चतुर्भुज रूप शंख चक्र गदा और कमल हाथ में, और तो वासुदेव महाराज कृष्ण भगवान की स्तुति करते हैं। दैट्स व्हाट वी वर रीडिंग। उसके पहले हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे कि कैसे गर्भ में, देवकी माता के गर्भ में सारे देवतास भगवान शिव और लॉर्ड ब्रह्मा के साथ आके ग्लोरिफिकेशन करते हैं लॉर्ड कृष्णा का। तो वो स्तुति हमने पढ़ी। फिर वासुदेव महाराज की स्तुति ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीटेड। तो हम लोग ये पढ़ रहे थे 21st श्लोक, विच इज ओ माय लॉर्ड proprietor of all creation, you have now appeared in my house. Desiring to protect this world, I am sure that you will kill all the armies that are moving all over the world under the leadership of politicians who are dressed as Kshatriya rulers, but who are factually demons. They must be killed by you for the protection of the innocent public. Okay. Who is saying this?
वासुदेव जी।
सतदेव जी।
वासुदेव जी। हाँ, वासुदेव महाराज भगवान कृष्ण की स्तुति कर रहे हैं। And then finally he is saying, you need to protect all the innocent public. Yeah? And we'll continue to read this. Anil ji.
अयं तो सभ्यस्तव जन्मनो ग्रहे श्रुत्य गंजास्ते नवधीत सुरेश्वर सत्यवतारं पुरुषे समर्पितं श्रुत्वा धुनय वाभिसरथ दायुधः. O my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill him, this uncivilized Kans killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have appeared, he will immediately come with weapons to kill you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Vasudeva Maharaj is also telling this Bhagavan that, Kans has been behind all the children. So, Reena ji.
शुक उवाच अथैर्नमात्मजं वीक्ष्य महापुरुषलक्षणं देवकी तमुपाधावत् कंसाद् भीता सुविस्मिता. Sukadeva Goswami continued, thereafter, having seen that her child had all the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devaki, who was very much afraid of Kansa and unusually astonished, began to offer prayers to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and Sukdev Goswami ji किसको बोल रहे हैं?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj, right? Srimad Bhagavatam being recited by Sukdev Goswami ji to Parikshit Maharaj. और कृष्ण भगवान के जन्म के बारे में अभी बोल रहे हैं. तो आफ्टर वासुदेव महाराज ने स्तुति कर ली और फिर जब देखा कि कृष्ण भगवान में महापुरुष लक्षणम had all the symptoms of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devki Tamupa Dhavata, Devki started offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. It says the word Swishmita, meaning astonished, is significant in this verse. Devki and her husband Vasudeva were assured that their child was the Supreme Personality of Godhead and could not be killed by Kans. But because of affection, as they thought of Kansa's previous atrocities, they were simultaneously afraid that Krishna would be killed, that Krishna would be killed by Kans. This is why the word Suishmita has been used. Similarly, we are also astounded upon thinking of whether this movement will be killed by the Asuras or will continue to advance without fear. 24, Prem sir.
श्रीदेव वाच रूपम यत् तत् प्रहुर्वक्त्यमाद्यं ब्रह्म ज्योतिर्निर्गुणं निर्विकारं सत्तामात्रं निविशेषं निरहं सत्वं साक्षात् विष्णुरध्यात्मदीप. Sri Devki said, "My dear Lord, there are different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable through words and the mind. Yet you are the origin of the entire cosmic manifestation. You are Brahman, the greatest of everything, full of effulgence like the sun. You have no material cause. You are free from change and deviation, and you have no material desires. Thus the Vedas say that you are the substance. Therefore, my Lord, you are directly the origin of all Vedic statements, and by understanding you, one gradually understands everything. You are different from the light of Brahman and Paramatma, yet you are not different from them. Everything emanates from you. Indeed, you are the cause of all causes, Lord Vishnu, the light of all transcendental knowledge." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Devki Mata starts offering prayers to Krishna Bhagwan, right? And she is, of course, saying like you are full of effulgence like the sun. Yeah. You are free from change and deviation. You have no material desires. You are the origin of all Vedic statements. If you see, it says, right, you are the Brahma, you are Jyotir Nirgunam, you are Nirgunam, you are Nirvikaram, right, you are Adhyam, right, the origin of everything. Satta Matram, like everything is emanating from you. You are Nirvisesham, Niriham, and she is saying, Satvam Sakshat Vishnu. Yeah. Or Devki Mata saying, you are the Sakshat Vishnu and Adhyatma Deepa hai. Yeah. The light of spirituality, the light of all transcendental knowledge. That's how Devki Mata is praying to Krishna Bhagavan. Yeah. Very nice people. So we'll read this. Anisha.
Vishnu is the origin of everything, and there is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna because both of them are Vishnu Tattva. From the Rig Veda, we understand Om Tad Vishnoha Paramam Padam, the original substance in the all-pervading Lord Vishnu, who is also Paramatma and the effulgent Brahman. The living entities are also part and parcel of Vishnu, who has various energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. Vishnu or Krishna is there for everything. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matah Sarvam Pravarte. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Krishna, therefore, is the original cause of everything. Sarva Karnam. When Vishnu expands in his all-pervading aspect, we should understand him to be Nirakara, Nirvesha, Brahmajyoti. Although everything emanates from Krishna, he is ultimately a person. Aham Adhirhi Devanam, he is the origin of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar. And from them, many other demigods are manifested. Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 14.27, Brahmano hi uh, protishtamaham Brahman rest upon me, the Lord also says. Ye pe anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mama eva kaunteya yajante avidhi purvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without the true understanding. Bhagavad Gita 9.23. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So what is mentioned in this is, first of all, we all know, right, how Devaki Mata is praying to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is Sarva Karana. Yeah. And what is important part which is mentioned here from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 23rd slok is, whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods. Yeah, it says, Yepya anya devata bhakta, and she is saying that tepi mam iv konteya. That also is essentially offered to me alone, is what Lord Krishna is saying, right? And this is how Devaki Mata is praying. We'll continue to read. Hare Krishna, Jitendra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
पढ़ेंगे?
There are many persons who worship different demigods, considering all of them to be separate gods, which in fact they are not. The fact is that every demigod and every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna Vidam. The demigods are also in the category of living entities. They are not separate gods, but men whose knowledge is immature and contaminated by the modes of material nature worship various demigods according to their intelligence. Therefore, they are rebuked in Bhagavad Gita, Kamastastir Rito Ina Kapandir Nya Devata, because they are unintelligent and not very advanced and have not properly considered the truth. They take to the worship of various demigods or speculate according to various philosophies, such as Mayavad philosophy. Krishna Vishnu is the actual origin of everything. As stated in the Vedas, Yasya Bhas Sarvam Idam Vidam Vibahi. The absolute truth is described later in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.28.15 as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yad Brahma Jyoti Sanatanam. The Brahma Jyoti Sanatan, eternal, yet it is dependent on Krishna. Brahman e Pratistamam. The Brahma Samhita states that the Lord is all-pervading. Andarasthat Parmanu Antarastham. He is within this universe and he is within the atom as Parmanu. Yasya Prabhav Jana Anadi Koti Kotis Vasudhev Vibhuti Hi Binnam. Brahman is also not independent of him. Therefore, whatever philosophy may describe his ultimate Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Sarvantakhalam idam Brahma, Param Brahma, Param Dham, Savitram Paramam Bhavam. According to various different phases of understanding, Lord Vishnu is differently described, but in fact, he is the origin of everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anil?
Because Devaki was an unalloyed devotee, she could understand that the same Lord Vishnu had appeared as her son. Therefore, after the prayers of Vasudev, Devaki offered her prayers. She was very frightened because of her brother's atrocities. Devaki said, "My dear Lord, you are your eternal forms like Narayana, Lord Ram, Sesha, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vaman, Baldev, and millions of similar incarnations emanating from Vishnu are described in the Vedic literature as original. You are original because all your forms are as incarnations are outside of this material creation. Your form was existing before this cosmic manifestation was created. Your forms are eternal and all-pervading. They are self-effulgent, changeless, and uncontaminated by the material qualities. Such eternal forms are ever cognizant and full of bliss. They are situated in the transcendental goodness and are always engaged in different pastimes. You are not limited to a particular form only. All such transcendental, eternal forms are self-sufficient. I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord Vishnu. We may conclude, therefore, that Lord Vishnu is everything, although he is also different from everything. This is the Achintya Veda Tattva philosophy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So what we are reading right now is how Mother Devaki is doing स्तुति of Lord Krishna. Right? उसके पहले हमने गर्भ स्तुति पढ़ी. Right? फिर वासुदेव महाराज कैसे स्तुति करते हैं भगवान कृष्ण की. और अब how Mother Devaki is doing the स्तुति of Lord Shri Krishna. रीना जी.
नष्टे लोके द्विपरार्धावसाने महाभूतेष्वादिभूतं गतेषु व्यक्ते अव्यक्तं कालवेगेन याते भवानेकः शिष्यते अशेष संज्ञः. After millions of years, at the time of cosmic annihilation, when everything manifested and unmanifested is annihilated by the force of time, the five gross elements enter into the subtle conception, and the manifested categories enter into the unmanifested substance. At that time, you alone remain, and you are known as Anant Seshanag. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Mata Devaki is telling to Krishna Bhagavan, praying to Krishna Bhagavan, right, glorifying him. Sishyate asesha sangya, who remains at the end of the whole manifest destruction, right, is the Anant Seshna. Yeah? And again, a nice purport. I'm going to read this. Prem sir.
At the time of annihilation, the five gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, enter into the mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankara, and the entire cosmic manifestation enters into the spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who alone remains as the origin of everything. The Lord is therefore known as Seshanag, as Adi Purush, and by many other names. Devaki therefore prayed. After many millions of years, when Lord Brahma comes to the end of his life, the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation takes place. At that time, the five elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, enter into the Mahatattva. The Mahatattva again enters by the force of time into the non-manifested total material energy. The total material energy enters into the energetic Pradhana, and the Pradhana enters into you. Therefore, after the annihilation of the entire cosmic manifestation, you alone remain with your transcendental name, form, quality, and paraphernalia. My Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the director of the unmanifested total energy and the ultimate reservoir of material nature. My Lord, the whole cosmic manifestation is under the influence of time, beginning from the moment up to the duration of the year. All act under your direction. You are the original director of everything and the reservoir of all potent energies. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so what, and we have read this before, right, in Srimad Bhagavatam, how the Mahat Tattva, how the whole material world and all the living entity come into existence from the Mahat Tattva, which is in between the materialistic energy and spiritual energy, right? So there's a materialistic world where we live in, there's a spiritual world, and in between there's a Mahat Tattva where all the living entities are residing within Lord Vishnu himself, right? Anisha.
यो अयं कालस्तस्य ते व्यक्तबन्धो चेष्टामाहुश्चेष्टते येन विश्वम् निमेषिदिर्वत्सरान्तो मह्यांस्तं त्वेषान्नं क्षेमधाम प्रपदे. The O inaugurator of the material energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, you act as a controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. Let me offer my full surrender unto your Lordship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And who is saying this?
Mata Devki.
Mata Devki, right? When Krishna Bhagavan appears in Chaturbhujam with Shankh, Chakra, Gada and Kamal, she realizes, and Vasudeva Maharaj realizes that. And that's what? Now Devki Mata is glorifying Lord Shri Krishna. And she says, let me offer my full surrender unto your Lordship. Stam tve shanam kshemadhyam prapadde. Ajay?
As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.52, Yak Chakshur Isha Savita Sakal Grabhanam Raja Samast Sur Mutir Asesh Teja Yashya Nanjaya Brahmati Samvrata Kala Chakra Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. The sun is the king of all planetary system and has unlimited potency in heat and light. I worship Govind, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. Although we see the cosmic manifestation as gigantic and wonderful, it is within the limitations of Kal, the time factor. The time factor is a control by Supreme Personality of Godhead as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhya Ksena Prakrit Suyate Sa Chakram. Prakriti, the cosmic manifestation, is under the control of time. Indeed, everything is under the control of time, and time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Supreme Lord has no fear of the onslaughts of time. Time is estimated according to the movements of the sun, Savita. Every minute, every second, every day, every night, and every month, and every year of the time can be calculated according to sun's movement. But sun is not independent, for it is under time's control. Brahmati Sambharta Kala Chakra. The sun moves within the Kala Chakra, the orbit of time. The sun is under the control of time, and time is controlled by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord has no fear of time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what is quoted here is from Brahma Samhita. And what is Brahma Samhita? Is the Lord Brahma's prayers to Lord Govinda. Yeah, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. And what is being mentioned is the sun is also part of the Kal Chakra. Right? So within the Kal Chakra, the orbit of time, and so the sun is under the control of time, and the time is managed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Right? And says that the Lord is addressed here as Avyakta Bandhu, or the inaugurator of the movements of the entire cosmic manifestation. Sometimes the cosmic manifestation is compared to a potter's wheel. When a potter's wheel is spinning, who has set it in motion, it is the potter, of course, although sometimes we can see only the motion of the wheel and cannot see the potter himself. Therefore, the Lord, who is behind the motion of the cosmos, is called Avyakta Bandhu. Everything is within the limits of time, but time moves under the direction of the Lord, who is therefore not within time's limit. Right? Everything is in the Kal Chakra, and we also read that materialistic world, the whole thing is under the control of Kal. Right? That's time. But in a spiritual world, there is no concept of time. Right? Jitendra?
Mrityu Bhilam Palayan lokan sarvaniva nadhyachanam tvam pabdram prapya yadachava susustashena mrityur me dampati. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles: birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So this is how Devaki Mata is praying. Yeah, Tvat Pada Ambajam. Yeah, your lotus feet, everything is relaxing, even though this is a Mrityu lok, right? And even if you advance to the upper lok, says even by fleeing to various planets, everyone still has to go through the birth, death, old age, and disease in this materialistic world, right? But with my Lord, your lotus feet, your mercy, everyone can be sleeping in the mental peace. Is how Devaki Mata is glorifying Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah, Anilji?
There are different categories of living entities, but everyone is afraid of death. The highest aim of the karmis is to be promoted to the higher heavenly planets where the duration of life is very long. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.17, Sahasra Yuga Pariyantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Viduh. One day of Brahmas equals 1,000 yugas, and each yuga consists of 4,300,000 years. Similarly, Brahma has a night of 1,000 times, 4,300,000 years. In this way, we may calculate Brahma's month and year, but even Brahma, who lives for millions and millions of years, Dvi Paradha Kal, also must die. According to Vedic Shastra, the inhabitants of the higher planetary system live for 10,000 years. And just as Brahma's day is calculated to equal 4.3 billion of our years, one day in the higher planetary systems equals 6 of our months. Karmis therefore try for promotion to the higher planetary systems, but this cannot free them from death. In this material world, everyone from Brahma to the insignificant ant must die. Therefore, this world is called Martyalok. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Abrahama Bhuvanal Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna. As long as one is within this material world, either on Brahmaloka or on any other lok within this universe, one must undergo the Kal Chakra of one life after another. Bhutva Bhutva pralayate. But if one returns to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yad gatva na nivartante, one need not re-enter the limits of time. Therefore, devotees who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can sleep very peacefully with this assurance from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Tyaktva deham punarjanma nayati. After giving up the present body, a devotee who has understood Krishna as he is need not return to the material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and then some of the calculations we have seen, right? And first of all, this lok, yeah, is also called as Mritya lok. Yeah, because everyone has to go. Like everyone takes birth, death, old age, and disease. Right? And it says even including Lord Brahma. Even though Lord Brahma's age, do you remember Lord Brahma's age? How long is Lord Brahma's age?
100 years of his time.
Yeah. 100 years of Lord Brahma's time.
Yeah.
Which comes to 350 trillion years. Solar years. Okay, that's 350 trillion solar years, because one day of Lord Brahma is
4.3 billion.
4.3 billion. Yeah, that's one day, Lord Brahma. And similarly, there is one night, which is also 4.32 billion years, right? So 8.64 billion years is one day and one night of Lord Brahma, right? And 100 years of age, right, is 300 trillion plus. And then also it's mentioned that the one day of Brahma equals 1000 yugas. Yeah, 1000 yugas. So one yuga is equal to 4.32 million years. What is one yuga?
The 4 yugas, Satyug,
Right.
Treta,
Yeah.
Dwapar, and Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga. Yeah, so the total of all the yugas, Kali Yuga,
Dwapar,
Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga,
Treta,
and
Satyug.
Satyug. 4 yuga is called one yuga. Yeah, one yuga cycle. So that one yuga cycle is
4.3 million.
4.32 million years. And how is that? Do you remember how is that 4.32 million years? Each yuga. Because how long is Kali Yuga? Remember?
1000.
Yeah, 5.
Kali Yuga. What is the duration of
430,000.
432,000 years is Kali Yuga, right? Then if you add 432 to that, that's 864,000. That is Dwapar Yuga. To 864,000, if you add 432,000 more, which is around 1.3 million years, is Treta Yuga. Yeah, and then you add another 432,000 to that, which is around 1.67 million, is Satyug. And if you total it up, it comes to 4.32 million years. Yeah, and that 4.32 million is one yuga. Like that, 1000 yugas are in one day of Lord Brahma. Yeah, and do you remember how many yugas in one Manvantar? First of all, how many Manus in one day of Lord Brahma?
14 Manus.
14.
14 Manus, right? 14 Manus in one day of Lord Brahma. Now we are in the 7th Manu, who is the Vevasvat Manu. And then in each Manu, how many yugas are there? How many yuga cycles for each Manu?
72.
72 yuga cycles. Yeah. So if you really look at the whole thing, 14 Manus, one day of Lord Brahma, right? The yuga cycle is 4.32 million years. And we just saw the duration of each. And then 72 yuga cycles in one Manu, multiply by 14. There's also some duration which is between each cycle. There's some destruction takes place after all the four yugas. Yeah. And then the major annihilation takes place at the end of Lord Brahma's day, which then lasts for the whole night. Yeah. 4.32 million years. And then again this takes place. So, but basically what is described is, irrespective of how long it is, yeah, everyone has to go. And everyone is under the Kal Chakra of one's life after another. Bhuta pralayate. After one birth, there is another birth, and this is like how continuously we are all taking birth as different living entities depending on our karma. But then what is mentioned here is, if one has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Krishna, if you surrender to Krishna, we start engaging in our devotional service, which we have read again and again, right? Like 9 different ways we can do: Shavanam, Kirtanam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting. Yeah. Then they have the adherence from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. 4.9, chapter 4 में 9th श्लोक में Lord Shri Krishna is saying, Tvyakta deham punar janam neti. The people who have surrendered unto Lord Shri Krishna, they don't take punar janam. Like they get out of the cycle of birth and death, is what is mentioned. And this is how Devaki Mata is also glorifying Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah. Nisha?
The constitutional position for the living entity is eternity. Na hayante hanimane sarire nityah sasvato yama. Every living entity is eternal, but because of having fallen into this material world, one wanders within the universe, continually changing from one body to another. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmananda Bharamite Kona भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज Madhya 19.151. Everyone is wandering up and down within this universe, but one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness by the mercy of the spiritual master and takes to the path of devotional service. Then one is assured of eternal life with no fear of death. When Krishna appears, everyone is freed from the fear of death. Yet Devaki felt, "We are still afraid of Kansa. Although you have appeared as our son," she was more or less bewildered as to why this should be so, and she appealed to the Lord to free her and Vasudev from this fear. In this connection, it may be noted that the moon is one of the heavenly planets. From the Vedic literature, we understand that one who goes to the moon receives a life with a duration of 10,000 years in which to enjoy the fruits of pious activities. If
That's good, Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think the important part here which is mentioned is everyone is wandering up and down within this universe. But one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness by the mercy of the spiritual master and takes to the path of devotional service. Yeah, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. How do we get the seed of devotional service? Right? Actually, if you see, we talk to so many people and we so many friends, right? And so many other people, and you will be surprised to, hear different viewpoints. And the people who don't believe in God or people who have some different way of doing something, some prayers and service, and somebody saying, why should I think that Lord Krishna is the Lord? And so many things, right? But the reality is, it's not easy to get to the path of devotional service. That only happens with the blessings of Lord Sri Krishna himself. Yeah. Otherwise, we can argue, we can be, have so many philosophical point of views, but the fact is, which no one can deny, everyone is going through this death, birth, old age, disease, right? That no one can deny that. There is no argument about that because we see that every time, right? And what Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita is, if you surrender unto me, he takes care of that. Yeah, you can go back to Supreme Personality of Godhead, is what is mentioned. Yeah. Prem.
Satvam Ghoradu Grasenatmajana Strahi Trastan Bhit Vistra Sahasi Rupam Chedam Parusham Dhyan Dhinyam Ma Pratyaksham Mansdrinsha Kṛiṣṇa. My Lord, because you have dispelled all the fear of your devotees, I request you to save us and give us protection from the terrible fear of Kamsa. Your form as Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is appreciated by yogis in meditation. Please make this form invisible to those who see with material eyes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what Mother Devaki, yeah, this is the prayer which Mother Devaki is doing to Lord Shri Krishna, right? When he takes birth. And what he's saying is your form as Vishnu, because that's how Lord Krishna appears, right? And Mother Devaki sees is Vishnu, and this is, and who appreciates, who sees that form are the yogis, dhyana dishnya. Yeah, the yogis who are meditating on Lord Sri Krishna, when they get to see the darshan, yeah, they see the darshan of Lord Vishnu as a four chaturbhuja. Yeah. And but then what she is requesting to Lord Sri Krishna is, please make this form invisible to those who see with material eyes. Yeah, people who have materialistic eyes, yeah, make this form invisible, is how Mother Devaki is requesting. Yeah. And again, we are reading those purports because they're very nice purports. Yeah. So we'll continue to read. Rinaji.
The word dhyan drishyam is significant in this verse because the form of Lord Vishnu is meditated upon the yogis. Dhyana vasthita tad gaten manasa pashyanti yam yoginah. Devaki requested the Lord, who had appeared as Vishnu, to conceal that form, for she wanted to see the Lord as an ordinary child, like a child appreciated by persons who have material eyes. Devaki wanted to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead had factually appeared or she was dreaming the Vishnu form. If Kans were to come, she thought, upon seeing the Vishnu form, he would immediately kill the child, but if he saw a human child, he might reconsider. Devaki was afraid of Ugrasen Atmaja, that is, she was afraid not of Ugrasen and his men, but of the son of Ugrasen. Thus, she requested the Lord to dissipate that fear, since he is always ready to give protection, abhayam, to his devotees. My Lord, she prayed, I request you to save me from the cruel hands of the son of Ugrasen, Khans. I am praying to your Lordship to please rescue me from this fearful condition because you are always ready to give protection to your servitors. The Lord has confirmed this statement in the Bhagavad Gita by assuring Arjun, you may declare to the world, my devotee shall never be vanquished. While thus praying to the Lord for rescue, Mother Devaki expressed her motherly affection. I understand that this transcendental form is generally perceived in meditation by the great sages, but I am still afraid because as soon as Khans understands that you have appeared, he might harm you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what we are reading is Devaki's prayers to Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah. Ajay.
So I request that for the time being you become invisible to our material eyes. In other words, she requested the Lord to assume the form of an ordinary child. My only cause of fear from my brother Kans is due to your appearance. My Lord Madhusudan, Kans may know that you are already born. Therefore, I request you to conceal this four-armed form of your Lordship, which holds the four symbols of Vishnu, namely the conch shell, the disc, the club, and the lotus flower. My dear Lord, at the end of the annihilation of cosmic manifestation, you put the whole universe within your abdomen. Still, by your unalloyed mercy, you have appeared in my womb. I am surprised that you imitate the activities of ordinary human beings just to please your devotee. Devaki was so afraid of Kans that she could not believe that Kans would be unable to kill Lord Vishnu, who was personally present. Out of motherly affection, therefore, she requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to disappear. Although because of Lord's disappearance, Kans would harass her more and more, thinking that child born of her was hidden somewhere. She did not want the transcendental child to be harassed and killed. Therefore, she requested Lord Vishnu to disappear. Later, when harassed, she would think of him within her mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is how Mother Devaki requests for Krishna to take a childhood form. Yeah. Janmate mayyaso papo ma vidhan madhusudan samudvije bhavadvetoha kansadhama adhirati. O Madhusudan, because of your appearance, I am becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kans. Therefore, please arrange for that sinful Kans to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. Right? She doesn't want Kans to know. Says Devaki addressed that Supreme Personality of Godhead as Madhusudan. She was aware that the Lord had killed many demons like Madhu, who were hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than Kans. Yet, because of affection for the transcendental child, she believed that Kans could kill him. Instead of thinking of the unlimited power of the Lord, she thought of the Lord with affection, and therefore she requested the transcendental child to disappear. Right? Hare Krishna. Tarun?
Samhara Vishwatanam Vishwataman Manam Adhorupam Alokikam Sankhachakra Gada Padma Shriya Justam Chaturbhujam. O my Lord, you are the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, and your transcendental four-armed form, holding conch shell, disc, club, and lotus, is unnatural for this world. Please withdraw this form and become just like a natural human child, so that I may try to hide you somewhere. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and when say Chaturbhujam, in Char Bhuja, what are the things in the four hands of Lord Vishnu?
Shankh,
Gada.
Gada and Kamal.
And Kamal, yeah. Shankh, Chakra, Gada, and Kamal. Conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. Says here, Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma is Kamal. Yeah. Anilji?
विश्वं यदेतत् स्वप्नो निशान्ते यथावकाशं पुरुषः परो भवान् विवर्ति सोऽयं मम गर्भगोभूर्दहो नलोकस्य विडम्बनं हि तत्. At the time of devastation, the entire cosmos, containing all created moving and non-moving entities, enters your transcendental body and is held there without difficulty. But now this transcendental form has taken birth from my womb. People will not be able to believe this, and I shall become an object of ridicule. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Mother Devaki is telling this to Lord Shri Krishna, right? Like the entire cosmic manifestation is in your abdomen at the time of destruction, right? But now you have taken birth from my womb. How will people believe that, right? Vidambanam hi tata, right? People will not be able to believe this. And so what she is requesting, Lord Krishna to become a child. Yeah. Prem?
As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, loving service to the personality of Godhead is of two different kinds. Ashirvaya Purna, full of opulence, and Ashwarya Sitla, without opulence. Real love of Godhead begins with Ashwarya Sitla, simply on the basis of pure love. Premanjana Charitra Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiv Hrideshu Vilokyanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Brahma Samhita 538. Pure devotees whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of prema, love, want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shyam Sundar, Murlidhar, with a flute swaying in his two hands. This is the form available to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who are all in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shyam Sundar, not as Lord Vishnu, Narayan, who is worshipped in Vaikuntha, where the devotees admire his opulence. Although Devaki is not on the Vrindavan platform, she is near the Vrindavan platform. On the Vrindavan platform, the mother of Krishna is Mother Yashoda, and on the Mathura and Dwarka platform, the mother of Krishna is Devaki. In Mathura and Dwarka, the love for the Lord is mixed with the appreciation of his opulence. But in Vrindavana, the opulence of Supreme Personality of Godhead is not exhibited. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
There are 5 stages of loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead: Sant, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Devaki is on the platform of Vatsalya. She wanted to deal with her eternal son Krishna in that stage of love, and therefore she wanted the Supreme Personality of Godhead to withdraw his opulent form of Vishnu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur illuminates this fact very clearly in his explanation of this verse. Bhakti, Bhagwan and Bhakt do not belong to the material world. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mama cha yo vyabhicarena bhakti yogena sevate sagunana samatiyetana brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in the spiritual activities of unalloyed devotional service immediately transcends the modes of material nature and is elevated to the spiritual platform. From the very beginning of one's transactions in bhakti, one is situated on the transcendental platform. Vasudeva and Devaki, therefore being situated in a completely pure devotional state, are beyond this material world and are not subject to material fear. In the transcendental world, however, because of pure devotion, there is a similar conception of fear which is due to intense love. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanti yavan yas chashmi tattvataha. And as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, bhaktyam ekalya grihaya. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the spiritual situation of the Lord. Bhakti may be considered in three stages called Gunibhut, Pradhanibhut, and Kevala. And according to the three stages, the three divisions which are called Gyanmayi and Rati or Prema. That is simple knowledge, love mixed with knowledge and pure love. By simple knowledge, one can perceive transcendental bliss without variety. This perception is called Manbhuti. When one comes to the stage of Gyanmayi, one realizes the transcendental opulence of the personality of Godhead. But when one reaches pure love, one realizes the transcendental form of the Lord as Lord Krishna or Lord Rama. This is what is wanted, especially in the Madhurya Rasa. One becomes attached to personality of Godhead, Sri Vigraha Nishtha Rupadi, the loving transcendental transactions between the Lord and the devotees begin. The special significance of Krishna's bearing a flute in his hands in Vrajbhumi, Vrindavan, is described as Madhuri Virajate. The form of the Lord with a flute in his hand is most attractive, and the one who is most sublimely attracted to Srimati Radharani Radhika, she enjoys supremely blissful association with Krishna. Sometimes people cannot understand why Radhika name is not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, however, Radhika can be understood from the word Aradhana, which indicates that she enjoys the highest loving affairs with Krishna. Not wanting to be ridiculed for having given birth to Vishnu, Devaki wanted Krishna with two hands, and therefore she requested the Lord to change his form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think the important part here which is mentioned is there are three types of how the bhakti takes place in different stages. Right? First, you have some gyan, right? Some knowledge. And then Gyanamayi, so some knowledge with love for God. And then Rati, total in pure devotion, pure love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then you get different experiences as you progress to the real transcendental form of the Lord as Lord Krishna or Lord Rama. Yeah. Tarun?
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Tameva Purva Sarges Bhu Pushti Swayam Bhuve Sati Tadayam Sutpa Nam Prajapati Kalmasham. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, My dear mother, best of the chaste, in your previous birth, in the Swayambhuva millennium, you're known as Prishni, and Vasudev, who was the most pious Prajapati, was named Sutapa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now after prayers of Maharaj Vasudev, after prayers of Devaki Mata, Krishna Bhagavan is now replying, right? So he started replying and he's telling to Mother Devaki that actually in your previous birth, in the Shwambhu Manu, yeah, Shwambhu Manu was the first Manu, the Manuvantar. At that time, you were known as Prishni and Vasudev Maharaj was known as Sutapa. And Lord Krishna had also taken an avatar that time during Shambhu Manu, and he was born to Prishni and Sutapa, and then he is telling them how they had done the whole tapasya, and that's why the Krishna has born to them as a son. Yeah, I think we'll continue to read this tomorrow. Very nice, like what Lord Krishna is telling to Mother Devaki. Yeah, so we'll pause here. And first we'll hear 2 minutes of Lord Krishna's Stuti, yeah, by Vasudev Maharaj. So we'll just say just 2 minutes, and then we'll hear the Krishna Astakam, which is like around 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
विदितोऽसि भवान् साक्षात् पुरुषः प्रकृतेः परः केवलानुभवानन्दस्वरूपः सर्वबुद्धिदृक् स एव स्वप्रकृत्येदं सृष्ट्वाग्रे त्रिगुणात्मकं तदनुत्वं ह्यः प्रविष्ट इव भाव्यसे यथेमे विकृता भावास्तथा ते विकृतैः सह नानावीर्याः पृथग्भूता विराजं जनयन्ति सन्निपत्य समुत्पाद्य दृश्यन्ते नुकता इव प्रागेव विद्यमानत्वान्न तेषां ह्य सम्भवः एवं भवान् बुद्ध्यनुमेयलक्षणैर्ग्राह्यैर्गुणैः सन्नपि तद्गुणाग्रहः अनावृतत्वाद् बहिरन्तरं न ते सर्वस्य सर्वात्मन आत्मवस्तुनः य आत्मनो दृश्यगुणेषु सन्निति व्यवस्यते स व्यतिरेकतो बुधः विनानुवादं न च तन्मनीषितं सम्यग्यतस्त्यक्तमुपाददत् पुमान् त्वत्तोऽस्य जन्मस्थितिसंयमान् विभो वदन्त्यनीहादगुणादविक्रियात् त्वयीश्वरे ब्रह्मणि नो विरुध्यते त्वदाश्रयत्वादुपचर्यते गुणैः सत्त्वं त्रिलोकस्थितये स्वमायया बिभर्ष्य शुक्लं खलु वर्णमात्मनः सर्गाय रक्तं रजसोपबृंहितं कृष्णं च वर्णं तमसा जनात्यये तमस्य लोकस्य विभोरिरिक्षिषोर्गृहेऽवतीर्णोऽसि ममाखिलेश्वर राजन्यसंज्ञासुरकोटियूथफेर्निर्वीहमानानि हनिष्यसे च मुहुः अयं त्वसभ्यस्तव जन्मनो गृहे श्रुत्वाग्रजांस्ते न वधेत् सुरेश्वर सतेवतारं पुरुषैः समर्पितं श्रुत्वा धुनैवाभिसरत्युदायुधः
And then we'll hear the Krishna Astakam. Around 4 minutes.
वसुतेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् अतसी पुष्पसङ्काशं हारनूपुरशोभितम् रत्नकङ्कणकेयूरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कुटिलालकसंयुक्तं पूर्णचन्द्रनिभाननम् विलसत्कुण्टलधरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् मन्दारगन्धसंयुक्तं चारुहासं चतुर्भुजम् बर्हि पिञ्छावचूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमूतसन्निभम् यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् रुक्मिणीकेलिसंयुक्तं पीताम्बरसुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गोपिकानां कुचद्वन्द्वकुङ्कुमाङ्कितवक्षसम् श्रीनिकेतं महेश्वासं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् श्रीवत्साङ्गं महोरस्कं वनमाला विराजितम् शङ्खचक्रधरं देवं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णाष्टकमिदं पुण्यं प्रातरुत्थाय यः पठेत् कोटिजन्मकृतं पापं स्मरणेन विनश्यति।
बोलो कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
जय।
Right, so yeah, we'll continue to read. Response by Lord Shri Krishna to Mother Devaki and Vasudev Maharaj tomorrow 9:30. Yeah.
Yep.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.